Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Malikicowtipper, good to bring you a fast game of StarCraft before I go off to work, and today my opponent is AWLeon, and this is going to be on Metropolis, one of my favorite maps from the original launch date of StarCraft, and I think I like Metropolis just because it looks cool, and you know, I like the fact that depending on where you spawn on the map can drastically change how you play the game. I'm gonna drink some Mountain Dew. Ah, so tasty. So, Leon is spawning as the red Terran in the lower, well, we'll call it the 6 o'clock position in Metropolis, and I'm spawning as the blue Zerg in the 12 o'clock position. So, he's asking me where I'm from, and kind of funny, I'm from Wisconsin, which is pretty cool. We like to drink a lot. I was actually playing StarCraft pretty drunk last night, and I won 2 really good games until I started getting rafflecoptered by Terran, and then I got 4-gated by a Protoss, and then I just rage quit at that point, just stopped playing. But anyway, yeah, good old US of A. So, what I really like about this map is it makes it really, really easy to get your scout off. Early on, just send your Overlord over here, and if you catch that you're in cross positions, you almost instantly know what's going on. I find out that I'm not there, so I'm going to send this Overlord down to chill over here and see what's going on. And I have my scouting drone going out a little bit late, but really nothing too bad as far as that goes. And if we take a look at us, it's really too early to say what either of us are doing in the game, but I'll tell you what I'm doing because I'm awesome. I'm going to go to the income tab for a 13 expand, 12 gap, 13 expand, and then I usually build to 14 workers just so I'm not sitting on all that larva and not using it, and then I will drop down a extractor and then a spawning pool. I'm working on that build a little bit. I feel like if I'm going for that expand, I can't go for that early gas as well, just because it really decreases my mineral production. So I'm probably going to try getting the gas a little bit later just because it's not like I'll have a lot of excess minerals to get upgrades and stuff anyway. So I'm going to be able to get my drone inside of his base. And I'm not really going to bother trying to attack him right there just because I know I won't be able to do enough damage for it. But what I want to do is I can see that he's getting an early gas, which to me could mean a couple things. He could try for some fast Hellions. He could be transitioning into a 1-1-1 build where you do a barracks factory and then a starport to try to do some Banshee harass. It's going to be kind of interesting to see what he decides to do. And he's definitely scouted me. He knows what's going on. And you know, I'm not doing anything too crazy at this point, but the one thing this build does do is it puts you really far behind in your early harvester count, which is something that you generally do not want as far as that goes for Zerg, but having the second expand will allow me just to drone like a motherfucker and get a lot of units out on the field. That is the game plan. So my Overlord, I'm going to put him down here, and then the plan is to maybe get him over here and then send him in for, you know, a suicide Overlord later, and you can see that I'm just kiting this Marine around right now, and realistically what that's doing is it's forcing him to say, well, what tech do I want to lay down, and do I want to try to conceal it from the Zerg player? And every second that you can keep your drone alive in the base is worth it. It's well worth, you know, your micro and getting better at it. Oh, that's gross. So, we take a look at this. I'm now down 15 to 17 units lost right now. You know, only one, so really nothing too bad. We take a look at the production tab right here. He's producing a Marine, he's getting another gas, and when I was playing the game, I originally thought that I might see him cancel that barracks, maybe try to feign that, but he's going to be laying down a factory right here. So 2 barracks and a factory, fairly standard opening as far as that's concerned for myself. I have not gotten speed upgrades, so this is what I mean, where I've now only got 40 gas, and all that time could have been spent gathering extra minerals, which could have made extra workers. And it just didn't seem like it was a good idea as far as that goes, so I'll probably change that build. And I've got my queens coming out. One thing when you have a second hatchery like this right off the bat is you don't necessarily need to worry about getting, you know, your queen right away, because 2 hatcheries will generally provide you with enough larva production for most of your minerals, but getting it's never a bad thing. So what I'm doing here is I'm attempting to saturate my main, that way hopefully I have a few to migrate over to the expansion and actually... Okay, good, they're going to be going to the expansion now. And this is maybe 1 or 2 too many drones as far as full saturation goes, but the thing is, you're going to lay down 4 or 5 different tech structures off of this main, and a lot of people forget to replenish those drones. So for me, I'll build them a little bit early, and then I'll just pull off them as I need them. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for what I thought at the time to be a fairly quick second gas. And my logic behind that was, I'm not really too sure what he's going to be doing as far as his build goes, and if I need to be able to deploy banglings relatively quickly, or maybe tech up, I wanted to have that gas, just because everything's coming so late for me, because, you know, I just don't have the kinks worked out of this build. It's really that simple. So I'm starting to migrate drones down. We take a look at the income tab. I'm up 30 to 23, but that's to be expected. I'm on 2 bases. and I get a really good idea of what's going on here inside of his base. I pretty much see all of his tech structures, and at this point, seeing that he's going for an expand, I can think one of two things. He's going to wall off up here with some bunkers and safely expand, and then probably take a third just because it's, well, aside from the fact that it's wide open over here, it's just relatively easy for the Terran to do that, put some siege tanks up here and really fuck with your world. And at this point, I'm fairly comfortable with my opening, as it matched his fairly well, and at this point, the best thing that I can do is feeling relatively comfortable, is to stop making zerglings and just to drone up. I am laying down an evo chamber, and I lay down this evo chamber here because it makes it easy to kind of block off with your queens right here, that way the Hellions have to go all the way around, and I think I might be getting one or two spine crawlers. I've noticed that drop play, you can see I'm getting both my Roach Warren and my Bangling's Nest right now, just so I can be ready for anything. Drop play from both Protoss and from Terran, I've noticed, has been incredibly popular on the ladder, so for myself, I've been having to put spine crawlers in and behind my mineral line just to kind of help prevent that. Putting up one or two detection or spore crawlers is never a bad thing. We can see right here, he's walling this off, getting a good spread on his army. This would be very, very difficult for me to attack with. And right here, I'm going to poke in just to see what I can see. I'm hoping that I can get these zerglings in before he moves all of his troops down, maybe snipe some units and not take too many losses. He has stim almost completed, and his tanks do have siege mode, so he's definitely well prepared for me. And right here, I'm just going to take a lot of losses from these siege tanks, and I'm going to run away. There's absolutely nothing I can do. And for him, he's now secured his expansion. He can start to mine off of it and build his army. Seeing this, I'm going to take a quick third, just for the hell of it, because why not? I'm sitting on a lot of excess minerals right now, and because I don't have a macro hatch up, I'm not able to spend them. So I figure taking that third expansion, because I actually have quite good well, no, my saturation sucks. It's going to get good, I promise you guys. And see, I'm building a wave of 14 drones right here. Going to bring me up to 50 almost instantly. So, cool thing is I'm going to try to oversaturate and then migrate, and then if I can be on 3 base while he's only on 2 base, then I should be able to trade armies with him, and then come in and zerg rush the hell out of you little guys over here. I wonder what it's like being, one of these space marines, thinking that, wow, these zergs suck, they're probably going to kill me. And we see that he's getting ready to move out with his force, and I can't say that I blame him at this point. He has his +1 infantry weapons going down. I have my +1. I have centrifugal hooks. I have roach speed. So I'm just laying down as much tech as I possibly can with all the excess money that I have. And right now, I'm getting my macro hatch, which is going to help me with larva production later on in the game. You can see I'm very well saturated. I have 56 workers, and I have my third base up. So the real question is, because he controls the Zelnaga, I don't know that this is incoming, and this force can liquidate the hatchery very, very quickly. And if we take a look at the actual army tab, you can see that his army is quite a bit larger than mine. I only have a few banglings and a few zerglings. So I'm going to need to very, very quickly... Sorry about the lag spike there, guys. Very, very quickly. You can see I'm spamming zerglings, just trying to spend my money and burn my army as quick as possible. Now the biggest thing is I need to get all these workers over here, otherwise all that money I invested in them is just gone. And right here I'm going to try to get some kills with these banglings, but centrifugal hooks is not quite up, and I'm not able to catch them off the creep, especially with stim. Now, because there's no medevacs, these marines are going to get low on health if they continue to stim. And I'm also bringing out some roaches just for good measure, that way they can take some of the damage of the marines, because my banglings might not be able to clean up all of them. And +1 marines with stim can do a really good job, but my units also have +1, which is really cool. So we can see right here that he's sieging up, and he's probably going to try to hold this position as long as possible to deny me that expansion. So I was just getting started. You can see I'm just starting to spread creep, and this is something that, had I started earlier, I could have been out here and I could have seen that attack. I probably would not have been able to save the hatchery because my army sucked. But right now, he's going to scan, and let's just see what he sees right here. Yep, he can see, what my force is. And he's probably going to try to move in. He's just going to move down, kind of stack his tanks up, and get as many kills with these guys as he possibly can. 13 kills. Holy shit. And oh no, don't blow up my queen! No! Fuck. Lag. Damn it. Okay, losing a few units there. I'm going to pull my queens back because I really don't want him to get me these attacks. Hopefully I can stop that before he kills it and I use the upgrade. But right here, I'm splitting my armies, and these marines are now running from the zerg lanes. There's not much they can do. And I'm going to be able to clean this up quite nicely. These marines are probably going to get away. They have very little health. So at this point, You can see I'm producing 26 more Zerglings. I have some Roaches in backup, and he's producing 6 more Marines. So, we take a look at the Return to Game tab. Units Lost tab right now, that was a very cost-effective attack for him. He's quite very, very far up on me compared to where it is. We take a look at the Income tab. I'm up 10 Harvesters, but that doesn't matter so much because a Terran has Mules, and I'm not saying that Mules are a terribly bad OP thing, but they can have less Harvesters than you and still do good. So, unfazed, I'm going to take that expansion and continue to spread my creep. You can see that I also have an Overseer over here, and I'm going to try to get a Changeling into the base, but he sees it because of the Zelnaga, and oh, that's gross. And my Overseer's going to get away, and this Zergling, he's just a hero Zergling, he's just chilling. Oh my god, he's so cool. And you can see that I'm massing quite a large army right here. If we take a look at the Army tab, mine is now larger than his, and he has 35 Marines to my 7, and then morphing another 7 Banglings, plus 12 Roaches. So any attack by him, I should be able to clean up just fine as long as I get some decent hits with my Banglings. And what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to scout out the map, and I'm going to try to see, you know, if he's taken any other expansions, because I'm fairly comfortable that he's still only on 2 base, but I've got an inkling that he's going to be trying to take a 3rd right now. I would, after a successful push and stopping my expansion, it's a good time for the Terran to expand. So the Income tab, I'm at 48 Harvesters, which means I'm going to need to build some more once it comes down to it. And this right here, if we check this out, you can see that my saturation's just about right, and that's because I built all that tech that I didn't have. So I'm finding that it's just easy to oversaturate in the beginning, and then just pull them off as you need them and not have to worry about rebuilding them. I'm so glad he didn't kill that. I would have lost almost a fully done upgrade, and that would have sucked. So at this point, my Zergling is going to come in here, and it's going to see that this command center is being built, and he might even be able to snipe off a few worker kills here, which would be pretty cool, actually. Oh, yeah, buddy. Let's get him. But they're going to surround him, that poor little Zergling. He did what he could. He tried. Almost got that one. I wasn't microing. And at this point, I'm going to send out a few more Zerglings, just to see if I can poke into that base. You know, he's probably thinking that's a scouting Zergling, but the problem is I didn't properly control these guys. So they are going to run right in front of these tanks, and they are all going to get Rafflecopter. Oh, that's easy kill. And now he knows what I'm up to, so he's going to split his army, and he's going to run up and defend that base. It's not really going to give me a lot of options to attack it. And the reason why I'm massing right here is it allows me to quickly jump between my 2 bases. With my creep spread in the Zelnaga, I should be able to see... Just give you a look at my camera right here. I should be able to see just about any shenanigans that he's doing. I have an Overlord over here, so I can kind of spot to see if he starts mining on any of these, and it gives me a really good idea of where he is. So at this point, I know that he's on 3 base, so I'm going to take a 4th base, just because I want to stay at least 1 base ahead of the Terran, and I want to continue to spread my creep. I'm going to start spreading it this way. She's basically designated creep bitch. Pretty cool. Wow, why am I getting so much lag? I might need to defrag or wipe that hard drive, or put a new hard drive in the computer or something like that. But, so myself, I have teched up to Infestors, and what I'm going to try to do is, I've got a feeling that, for myself, that the Terran's going to go mech. What I've been seeing a lot of lately is Terran will go Marine into tank, and then they'll start to build Thors, just because Thors do such a good job at dealing with, you know, typical responses to this type of build, Mass Roach and Bangling. Oh, that's an alarm telling me that you have to get to work in 45 minutes. Plenty of time to finish the cast. So, oh, excuse me. And the Thors, they're just a very good answer to a lot of troops in the Zerg army. And the best answer to Thors is Neural Parasite from Infestors. So if we go to the production tab, I am researching that, and I'm just going to build a fuck ton of Infestors. And the biggest thing is you want to build your Infestors, if you can, before you need them, simply because they need time to build that energy. If they come out with their 75 energy, they just can't do much. Fungal growth is expensive, Neural Parasite is expensive, and they can't even Neural Parasite directly after hatch. And right here, I'm not sure why I have this group of Zerglings here, but let's go back to the Income tab. So 59 Harvesters to 42. I could use probably about 20 more Harvesters, you know. Well, maybe not up to that 80 mark. A lot of people usually stop building around 60 to 70. That's a fairly good spot to be. And I'm almost mined out at my main, and he's doing a good job taking his 3rd and basically just spreading his troops. Any attack at this point to me into the main base would not be cost effective, just because the siege tanks are here, the bunkers are here, and oh, that's getting really annoying. The Thors just equalize that well, and even in this, it would take a lot of Banglings, a lot of units would get killed. So what I need to wait for at this point myself is pretty much for him to push out and me to take him when he's at a disadvantage. I could also maybe try a Nautilus Worm or something like that. And you can see here, I actually have loaded up this Overlord, and I'm going to try to get some Banglings in here, but almost as if I'm keeping... Oh my god, that sucks. So if we take a look at my vision right here, because my Xel'Naga, I'm going to see him moving out, and I'm going to, you know, take my very, very large army and push out against him.
The hive cluster is under
So if we take a look at
attack.
this, there's a big ball of Marines, there's a lot of Thors, and there's a few tanks. And right here, what I'm trying to do is funnel my Zerglings in around and try to get a surround on these Thors. Give my Banglings clear access to the ball of Marines, and hopefully Neuroparasite, oh my god, that's so many Infestors. Hopefully Neuroparasite these Thors, and that'll be the battle. But the problem is, I just attack moves, so my Infestors are literally just trying to get all up in there and fight too. So I'm losing so many of those Infestors. Holy shit, that was bad. And for some reason right here, yep, I was misclicking and I was not able to, you know, parasite these, but I did get down right to the infested Terran. And they did a good job at covering my retreat and just more or less beating on some of these units and dealing with food and gas. So at this point, if we go to the production tab right now, I am producing 24 Zerglings, 15 Mutalisks, and 5 Roaches. The reason I am producing Mutalisks is, I don't know, I wanted to switch up the tech and maybe throw something at him that he was not quite expecting. Mutalang Bangling is very, very effective against this army composition as long as there are not too many Thors. And go back to the Everyone view, as far as I'm concerned, there's not many left. So right here, now I'm going to use right here, I can get that right off. Take advantage of that Thor. And right here, I just want to make sure that I kill the Thor before there's a chance to move it. Now I'm just going to go to clean up all these reinforcements with these free kills. These are just not going to be very cost effective at this point. So if we take a look at the Units Lost tab, he is actually ahead of me in Units Lost, which is absolutely excellent. That's right where you want to be as a Zerg. If you can be that, that's cool. And right now, if we take a look at the Income tab, I am taking in quite a bit more resources than him, so it's going to be significantly easier for me to remax my army compared to him. You can see I'm already almost at 200, and he is at 120. I'm morphing quite a few more Banglings, but the problem is taking down this Terran infrastructure. If I attacked from here and then came in and took out this base, that could be very, very effective. But I still probably would not want to risk a direct frontal attack on this base right here because I would lose so many units. I mean, just a few siege tanks, a few Thors, and some Marines, and you can see that he's rebuilding a lot of heavy mech units. And I'm going to mass my army right here in the middle. And at this point, I'm hesitant to attack. I know that I just won a very good victory, and I know that I'm back at supply cap, and I don't think that he is. But the thing is, Terran defense can be so strong that I'm a little worried about it. So I'm going to send in this pack of Mutas, also great for stunning the last, you know, and just see what I can kill. I'm going to take out that reactor just for the fact of it. It seemed like a good idea. Move in, snipe a worker, you know, snipe a few more workers over here, and hopefully get out of there before that Thor just face fucks all of my Mutalisks. Oh, gross. Yeah, unless you magic box your Mutas, they can be very, very deadly against him. And if anything, just slow down the mining, you know, stop his income for a little bit. And I do have a significant harvester advantage over him. And we take a look at the unit composition right here. I have 46 Zerglings, 14 Mutalisks, 19 Roaches, 18 Banglings, and 11 Infestors. I'm going to morph an Overseer because I want to try to get a change lane up in the base and see what's going on. And if we take a look at this, he's laying down more tech, he's spreading out some units, just because he's probably afraid of just like a Zergling run-by, which would actually be very, very effective into the space, force him to move a lot of his units. And God, I just hope I do not attack the front of the space. I hope I'm not that stupid. And a Nautilus would be so cool. But I don't think I'd be able to get away with it. Maybe drop one here and force him to move some units in, and that would be pretty chill, I guess. Right here, drop the poop. Ew, God, guys. Such a nasty motherfucker. Gross. The tank just takes him out. So, this is kind of, I wouldn't call this a stalemate in the game, but this is both of us kind of twiddling our thumbs. Because of my indecisiveness to attack, I've almost let him remax. Now, the one benefit to this is because I've been maxed for so long, I have so much money built that if this army dies, I can rebuild it almost instantly. If we check out how many larvae I have 26 larvae, I have more injects coming on the way, and I have so many hatcheries that if I lose this army, it's not going to be the end of the earth. And I'm going to try to scout in here and see what I can do. And I'm going to be able to pick off a tank kill there. I mean, anything free that you can do is just absolutely awesome. And I'm afraid of the Thors, so I'm not going to do too much here, and these Marines are going to skim easily open up and just take them out. But at that point, I feel comfortable because I feel like I know what's going on. I'm trying to move in here. But like I said, I'm going, oh gosh, no, please hit the ball. Oh my god, that sucked. But I was able to mirror parasite just about everything. That's pretty good, but it just wasn't enough. So many troops on the board. And the thing with fighting an army like this, hey guys, I am really sorry. I may have to re-record this. Just realized that was really, really loud in my headset. I hope you guys can hear me. Please don't hate me. So, the thing with fighting the army like this is I did take out some of his units, but the thing is, he has a big ball of Marines coming right at my base. So right now, this is where the Terran needs to strike, and he needs to be able, check out the production tab, to take me down before I can rebuild. And you can see, I'm building as many units as I can. I'm just trying to get Zerglings out on the field because I have so much extra money. I need to morph Banglings because that's the only way I'm going to be able to properly deal with this ball of Marines. And right here, I think I got saved because he got kind of indecisive at which way he wanted to attack. I think he was hoping that there wouldn't be creep this way because he had killed it earlier. But I'm trying to do my best the entire game to keep my creep spread going. And right now, my army is actually, again, larger than the Terran's army. And right here, I'm just going to build to, push him back, get a good idea for what he's doing, get some infestors up in here. Now, the problem is these infestors do not have enough energy for neural parasites, so I was able to get some good bangling hits, and I'm going to be able to, hopefully, fungal on these guys. Please, fungal. There we go. Do some extra damage, drop some infested Terran, and, God, I really need to pull these infestors back. They are just all getting killed. And every time an infestor dies, it's a sad thing, because infestors, guys, they're so expensive. I mean, they cost 150 minerals, 150 gas. You just do not want to be losing your infestors. And if we take a look at what's going on right now, because the Terran has basically mined this out, and he's working on this, he has almost no money, where I have a lot of money. So right now he's trying to do a triple expand, hoping that I don't have the army to counter it. And I see this because of my Zelnaga and because of my Overlord over here, so I'm going to send in just these cheap Zerglings, and I'm going to do everything I can to deny these expansions. This is kind of the critical moment in a game against a Terran where you absolutely have to stop them from expanding, otherwise they will get ahead of you again. And, I mean, they can get 1 or 2 bases of drop mules and remax so fast, and you won't be able to do anything about it, because you can see I've been working on all these bases. My third, I could use some more going on here, but it's not like my money is bad. I actually could just use more gas like every Zerg army, but, I'm remaxing fairly well. I have a lot of infestors, and dealing with these Marines just really is not going to prove too problematic. If I can get that Bangling in there, just melt some faces, and fuck, I need to stop losing all of my goddamn infestors. Sorry guys, I apologize for the foul language, but it's just so frustrating to see infestors die to Marines. But I'm sure it's frustrating, for them as well. So I was able to deny this expansion, deny this expansion. This expansion's going down, we can see he's going to drop 4 mules, and that's just going to skyrocket his money. And if we take a look at the army, armies right here, he's going for +3/+3. I'm getting Zerg melee attack level 3. I decided to tech the Broodlords. My reason for teching the Broodlords is I have not seen a single medevac, I have not seen a single Viking or anything. So my thought is he doesn't even have the tech for it, and Broodlords could be just the thing that I need to shut down all of this. It will also allow me to effectively attack his gold expansion here, which if he gets that set up, I'm really screwed. So, again, myself basically remaxed because of all that extra money, and Zerg OP powers to the extreme, morphing a lot of Banglings, got some more Zerglings on the way in these Broodlords. With the +3 attack that I have on my ground units, they're just going to be so effective. And I actually did nothing for my roaches, so I probably shouldn't have been producing as many of them as I was. At least they have ground armor, which is kind of neat, I guess. And I gotta be careful about how I do this. I don't want to move my Broodlords in too close, otherwise they're just going to get rafflecoptered by all of these Marines. So I'm going to try to move them in over here and have them shoot at the tech structures from far enough away that they won't get hit, and then have my army down here in case they try to rush around. You can see right here that he is going to manage to take out to drop 1 or 2 of these Broodlords, but not at, extreme losses to his own units. And right here, I'm just going to be able to move in with my army. He spreads his out, but I just have so many troops. And between the Broodlords, the Banglings, the Zerglings, the Roaches, it was just too much for him to be able to clean up. And Leon leaves the game. So for myself, This game felt extremely good to win. And the main reason for that is I've been getting beat by Terrans a lot, and, you know, maybe Leon just wasn't as good as the other Terran players that I've been fighting, but in general, I feel that the current metagame for Terran versus Zerg can be very difficult to defeat, and the best way to do it realistically is to stay ahead of them on the economy and force the Terran to trade armies with you, because you can rebuild quicker than him. And if we take a look at the units lost tab right here, you can see that I ended up losing quite a few more resources than him. So if I'm only matching the Terran base for base, there's no way I can win that game. At about the 25-minute mark, your army is going to get smaller and smaller, and his army is going to get bigger and bigger, and eventually he's just going to steamroll through your base. So stopping the Terran, denying them their expansions as long as possible, harassing them. I mean, Terran have to fight Zerg almost the same way that Zerg have to fight Terran, so it's really about who does a better job at managing the army. And when it comes down to the fight, just make sure that you don't have so many of your infestors die. God, it's so annoying. But anyway, that was Malikicowtipper. Thank you for watching. Have a good afternoon.